radiate. I'm a goddess with a blaze. 소리처럼 나 이래 믿지 못하게 loud 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 loud. I could take you to the top. 절대 멈추지 못해. 내가 끝내주는 bad gal gal gal. And when I start to talk like that, oh you know how to react. I'm a picture perfect face with the wild in my veins. You can hear it in my growl 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 growl. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. 다
Hello and welcome to the semi-final of the Irish Collegiate Championship League of Legends Division 2. My name is Whimsy. Alongside me is Sader, and we are bringing you a clash between the second and third seeds here in Division 2 as the Maynooth Crusaders take on Trinity Force in a best-of-3 match that is set to be very close between these two teams.
Yeah, it should be very close, and I'm really looking forward to how the kind of pick and ban will go, because you have some super secret intel that we were talking about beforehand. There's some spicy picks coming in and out, so I'm really looking forward to them.
Division 2 is pretty much made up of spicy picks, but first we're getting the few bans coming in, and I think these are more standard given these two teams. I mean, the Vladimir is a must deny from Trinity. Just a quick thing for the chat. As you may have seen, the usernames are now themed on the side of Trinity, who are on that red side. So keep an eye out. They're the players that you may know: Nualaic, Raytex, Kentunkula, Faba, and NASA. So try keep that in mind and not get lost in the mini-me's. But yeah, I mean, looking at these bans so far, pretty much all targeted. A few key takeaways from both teams here.
Yeah, definitely. The Urgot's still coming back stronger and stronger every single patch. He seems to find a new place to kind of squeeze in. He's now a jungler as well as a top laner. Very strong pick. Syndra, always good to take away. Everyone knows the press R and win kind of thing. The Jarvan first pick, I think the entire NA scenes had a chat about this. That J4 first pick in Game 4 was the worst drafting idea that has came out of the NA LCS since its inception. And Reaper is supposedly going to get fired because of it, but I'm not the biggest fan of it first pick, but it is a very strong jungler in this current meta. And I'm looking forward to seeing if it does go towards the jungle, if Granville can pick it up nice and early. And the Rek'Sai should be the counter pick here, but it could even be the Hecarim.
I think the Hecarim is a Raytex classic, now named the Whimsical one in the jungle. So wouldn't be surprised if they go for that. It's one of those champions that this team just takes pretty much whenever it's open because he has such a big impact. No matter what the matchup is. The Thresh is a new one, though, for NASA. Usually sticking with things like the Nami and the Morgana, but choosing to blind pick the Thresh here is a bit of a swing away and different to a lot of the stuff that she plays, but obviously a champion that can have a big impact in that bottom lane.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not giving anything away. There's not giving away the style of your comp or anything along those lines. So taking a first pick is never a bad idea. On the other side, though, Aatrox and Cass being picked up. So Cass usually goes towards mid lane. It can be played bot. Aatrox is a bit of a flex pick as well. It can go top. It is seen in the jungle from time to time and can play mid. I'd almost expect that to be top Aatrox and Jarvan jungle, Cass mid. But it could get changed. We'll keep an eye on that. But the Talon, I don't think that will be. Would I play that into Cass? I don't think so. Okay, no. Grant. I was getting really confused there. Like, you don't play Talon into the kind of one stat miasma goes down, you're not moving for a while. So no, go for the Maokai, a nice clean tanky top laner. I haven't seen it a lot. It's kind of coming back and forward in the meta. Tank tops are coming back. And Maokai, I believe you played it quite a bit in one of the previous tournaments and smashed in top lane.
I mean, Maokai, he's a big dude who does CC, and that's pretty much all there is to him. So it doesn't really matter whether you win or lose lane. You just get big, and
it hurts every time, Whimsy. The Jinx ban.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Valkyrie is like yourself, a purveyor of the Jinx play in the bottom lane. Maybe he's not so like one track minded in terms of that champion, but he does like it.
You nearly said one trick.
I didn't say it, but I might have been thinking it. But in any case, that's going to be taken away. Sivir as well going to be denied with both teams left to ban out that 80 carry spot. Surprised they're not focusing either of the roles. Actually, the Nautilus ban will set up that support matchup a little bit, which is kind of what I would have expected. Try to get NASA in the bottom lane, a bit of an easier matchup.
Yeah, and taking away the Lysandre as well. A nice safe pick there for Count Whimsy. But I'm looking at what's left open. It has to be like, a Lucian or Ezreal maybe is all that's left available in the kind of higher tiers. Even a Varus. Vayne is an interesting one. We have seen it pop up time and time again with the like of Reckless and Nemesis playing it. But another safe pick, Caitlyn. It seems like a very stand back and fight and wait for the Jarvan to do everything. Like the Cass going to be sitting back waiting for the time to go in. Same with Granville, picking his time to get in the flanks. So they're kind of building the comp around a team fight, but a very slow paced team fight. Get in, do your damage, get out. And a Taric coming in as well. No, that's a troll. Asking the answer, I do talk to him every now and then, and he does like Taric. It is a nice pick. The other one is interesting though. The Nautilus being taken away, it doesn't really fit the comp with the Jarvan and the Aatrox. I expected something more brawn, maybe, something
Ooh.
along those lines. But it's going to be a pike, so that's where the execute damage is going to come from, I suppose, when everything happens.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's an interesting one. Looking to match this bottom lane. That bot lane on the side of Maynooth, one of the really
Ooh.
strong points of the map since their beginning. So definitely looking for an advantage in the 2 versus 2. Looking like it's going to be a last pick Veigar, though, for count in that mid lane to go up against the Cassiopeia. He'll be taking a lot of late game damage with him to maybe match up against one Noodle too. So both these mid laners likely looking to scale here in this game.
Yeah, definitely going to go for a late game kind of spike here. The Tristana can come into the mid game a little bit stronger than most ADCs, but it's around that level 17, 16 mark where she gets the extended range from her passive. That's when she starts to become a real menace because she actually has a better range than most ADCs. I think she actually outranges Caitlyn at that stage. So that's really when she's going to shine. And then on the other side, if you have this all-in Hecarim, you have Veigar, you have all the scaling ramp up, and then Maokai and Thresh to kind of sit back, peel, throw out the ults, and reset every fight. It's a very nice comp they've built here, and of course, Ratex and his Hecarim. What can go wrong there?
Yeah, that's something to really keep an eye out because if that Hecarim can, I think it's mainly just getting through the first couple of levels fine. Ratex is straight in those lanes, getting off as many ganks as he can, usually focusing around that top side. But given the CC available in every lane, is definitely the opportunity for him to make some of those early plays and get his team going. But I mean, Granvold on that J4, it's not like he's going to be any slouch in the early game as well. So I'm excited to see how these two junglers match up. The big meta pick in that Jarvan jungle versus the pocket pick for Ratex on the Hecarim.
I wouldn't say Hecarim's as much as a pocket pick. It's starting to become a meta thing with the Conqueror. It's starting to become more and more prevalent in the meta. It's kind of skewed to top lane a little bit more, but I am enjoying seeing Hecarim a lot more. I think everyone remembers me trying to dive tier 2 towers by myself, and then getting ulted by Malzahar, and then forgetting, oh yeah, that kind of stops me, even though I'm unstoppable, by the way.
Yeah.
Didn't enjoy that. But looking at both sides of this, they have very clear paths on where they should be going in the kind of early-ish stage if they are going to go for an early gank. Like, the setup available to Radex's Hecarim, there's a lot of CC available, like Count Whimsy with the Veigar. Once the baby cage goes down, that'll have to burn a cleanse to get out of that if trapped inside or flash it. So that's a very easy summoner spell right there to take. On the other side, you have Nua Lake with the Maokai. Nua Lake can very easily lock up that Aatrox. It's a very point-click stun. Should be very easy to kind of lock them down. Then you have Thresh as well into a semi kind of mobile bot lane. Like, Caitlyn does have the net and Pyke does have his dash, but at the end of the day, he can stop them with the Flay and keep them there. So there's a lot available. But on the other side, there's not a lot available for Granvold. He'll have to be the key initiator for those ganks.
Yeah, he's certainly got the tools on that Jarvan, and it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, he can contribute to those team fights later on in the game. These team fights are going to be really hectic at the later stages of the game. You have both teams with the scaling crit 80 carries. You have these mid laners who are going to be pumping out the damage. Cassiopeia more sustained, where Veigar is going to be looking for that big burst with all the stacking AP. Junglers as well, big AoE teamfight ultimates. A little bit different in the top lane. The Aatrox maybe hoping to bully out earlier on and kind of keep the Maokai away from these fights as possible. But you know that Trinity on that red side going to be looking for those early team plays as well. They have the 2 teleports, and in terms of Division 2 teams, they're probably the best at using that summoner spell to group up in the early stage, make these dives happen bot lane, and get leads in the early to mid game through that.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm looking at Ciara with this Aatrox. I believe I've casted Ciara playing this before, and he kind of popped off, if I do recall correctly. And with the likes of a Maokai, there's a lot of sustain available to a Maokai with his passive, with the constant spamming of spells. He has everything he needs to stay alive. But I think with Granvold coming up, it'd be a very easy gank to set up with just quick combo from Ciara, step back, wait for Maokai to look for the kind of sustain, and then once he comes in, you can kind of pop him very, very quickly. Trees do get cut down quite quickly when you come in with like a Jarvan and the Aatrox. I was kind of hoping for a better skin. I don't like Sea Hunter for the Aatrox. I was kind of hoping he had the prestige skin, just so he could flex.
Yeah.
But overall, like, I love also the new thing with the masteries being shown is also really nice. So
Yeah,
deflate them a little bit.
It's handy, yeah. You can just have a quick look through and see exactly how experienced everyone is on each of their champions. But we'll see. Obviously, you can have all the mastery you want, but at the end of the day, you have to have the teamwork necessary to pull out the win. And that's kind of the story of this game, I think. Trinity, the team known for their team play, but Maynooth, big in terms of individual skill in Division 2 across the board. These are guys who will be looking to have these big impacts in lanes, especially with picks like that Aatrox, like that Caitlyn, and just trying to take those early advantages and run the game from there. And so we are into the game here. Our first game of this best of 3 between Maynooth Crusaders on the blue side and Trinity Force on the red side. These two teams would have been two of the favorites as well coming into the Trinity, the reigning champions here in Division 2 of the Collegiate Championship, but Maynooth won the Division 2 Winter Bash. So certainly pedigree across the board between both of these teams, but only one can progress to our Division 2 final.
Yeah, exactly. One of them has to make it through, and there's a lot on the line here. They have a lot of already silverware, I suppose, is the best way to put it, that are on the line. They kind of want to keep getting new ones every single year. The Winter Bash obviously been a big one, and they won last year, so there's a lot of different trophies on both sides, and you kind of want to keep building that up and be like, yeah, we were the best. We were always going to be the best. But I'm looking forward to seeing how the first kind of ganks usually tell how the jungler is going to play for the rest of the game. Because if it goes badly, they go defense, and if it works, they get more and more aggressive until they kind of mess up. That's what happens in Div 2. In Div 1, they don't mess up, but in Div 2, they do. So I'm looking for the Whimsical one to kind of get that gank in maybe a couple of seconds before, but Granville should be waiting for the counter gank. That's what I'm hoping for. The Jarvan's waiting and sitting with the Flag and Dragon ready to kind of counteract whatever the Whimsical one will be looking for. It's really hard to say Ratex when you see the names. You know,
yeah, it's some of them are easier than others. I think Nualaic translates pretty easily to Nua Whims, but Ratex just lifted my old username, so yeah, that's gonna
I've
be
also casted you before, so I keep thinking it's you, and I want to flame it. Okay, game.
I'm casting while playing. I feel
like you missed and you hit a minion. I'll never forget that.
Oh yeah, that's we'll not talk about that. Okay, I've had better moments playing, but yeah. So looking at the early stage, I actually would like to go back to what you were saying about these junglers, because especially with this Trinity team, it is so important that Ratex has a strong early game, and because if he comes like into the lanes early as that Hecarim, he can really do some damage. Although a nice trade in the early lane, and that's going to be Whimsy really in a lot of trouble and taking out almost immediately first blood to Valkyrie on the Caitlyn.
Yeah, and burns the heal there as well. Does lose the summoner as well. A trade of summoners and it dying, not the greatest start, and just didn't have the jump ready to get that kind of buffer going. But you struggled out with the Whimsy as well.
I know, it's this is going to be a recurring theme. I'm not too happy with the username changes. Grandvault, though, has a pair of Whimsies chasing after him. Looks like he could be in some trouble here as they capitalize on him. Knocked back by the Hecarim, but Shiara's going to make this a 2 versus 2, and the Whimsical one has to back off here, but the knockup still comes through, and now the Hecarim is in a whole lot of trouble. One more auto attack will do it from Grandvault, and now this Maokai is all on his own. After the second Whimsy going down to that J4, double kill for Grandvault, and already 3-0 to Maynooth.
Yeah, and just like big trade around the Scuttle Crab there. Both teams just said we're going for this, and it just didn't work out. When you have an Electrocute versus a Predator, you'll nearly always put your money on that extra damage from Electrocute. Very, very good fight there from the guys. I like to see the aggression, but Jesus, new Whimsy going straight back in. No fear.
Yeah, a bit of damage after the TP onto Shiara there, but the Aatrox not too stressed about this Maokai damage at the early stages, although if he keeps going in for this Aftershock as well, this Aatrox could be in a lot of trouble with no flash available, and that's the kill going over to Nua in that top lane, first on the board for Trinity.
I saw that coming, I was like, no, he'll walk out, he'll leave, it's fine, he knows what he's doing, and then just comes back in with the twisted advance and just kind of takes it there. That's very, very greedy there by Shiara.
Yeah, didn't really need to stay in that lane, especially with the flash not available. He has to use his own teleport to get back, and now we'll see himself around even in gold after that passage of play. But a nice early lead to Maynooth, and that's exactly what you want to do against Trinity. Shut them down, and maybe Grandvault, already 2-0 on that Jarvan, can make some more early plays for his team.
Yeah, 100%. Like that was very nicely done. Contesting the trap, knowing he had the advantage, knowing he had the ability to take it early, and a very nice kind of trade in general, resetting it with the bush and making sure that both of them take damage, making sure that Shiara comes in and takes them as well for the team. And very nicely done, and it's really giving them a good lead here. It's already nearly 1,000 gold. And if they keep pushing that the way they are, it should be fine. And the bot lane, a huge advantage. They're already 10 CS, forcing them off more and more waves. And I feel like Valkyrie's going to be very cool from this lane for a very long time, because I don't think Dwindle's going to be able to get down there to put any pressure down for the next 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, we see the early pressure coming out from Valkyrie and the real Whimsy, who is in fact not the real Whimsy, but they already have a nice CS lead on that Caitlyn, which is kind of what you want. Keeping the Tristana pushed in will make it difficult for Faba on that Tristana to get as much farm as he needs to. And it's guy coming in mid lane though, and they might be able to take up his Cassiopeia. Stun comes through, Cleanse is used, but already a lot of damage going over. But the flash gets 1-2 out just in time, and he will not give a kill over to that Veigar.
Yeah, that's what I was saying at the start of the game there, but this could be a Granville counter gank. Burns the flash from count wins. I was saying that at the start of the game, if you do get that baby cage around 1-2, he either has to understand the respect and get out as soon as he can with the flash, or he's going to have to burn both, because the Whimsical one will come in. Radex will come in and make you burn both. So, didn't respect it there, and there's losing 2 summoners when he could have just flashed out, but nonetheless, the knock into the wall, very strong.
Yeah, he's trying to make these plays now on the Hecarim, but so far, no success for Ratex in this early game. Obviously, the level 6 point will allow him to have a bit more impact with the ganks with the onslaught of shadows, but already Trinity, I should say, find themselves behind, and it looks as if the first Drake will be going over as well. Cloud Drake secured by Granvolt and the rest of Manu.
Yeah, they pick up a nice and easy one there, and there's going to be standing in the lead with that. Cloud Drakes aren't the most favoured of all the Drakes. That's a very nice trade coming from Shiara. Not going to keep going though, but it's not the best trade to get early. Everyone loves their mountains and their infernals, and even oceans early, and everyone's like, oh, Cloud. I honestly really like Cloud, and taking it away from the Whimsical one on the Hecarim is also very nice. It stops them getting more damage, but the rotations can come in now whenever they feel like. If they have pressure in the bot, it's up to them now to push into Caitlyn, get some plates, maybe even the tower, then just rotate up the top. And you can do it so much faster when you build up those Cloud Drakes. And I'd like to see them keep going for them, but the next one will be an Ocean. So we could get to like the proper four-man spread here on the Drake. Should see it get picked up a little bit more when it comes to Mountain, and see some contention around it.
Pressure continuing to come down in that bottom lane. Top lane as well. Shiara continuously getting nice trades off on this Aatrox. This was kind of what we expected in this top lane 1 versus 1. The Maokai utility pick will likely struggle against Shiara on the Aatrox.
Yeah, 100%. It should be Shiara's lane here with the bully matchup. But I honestly believe that New Wind is playing this lane perfect. He's probably up in farm because the wave is crashing it. He will take a farm lead here. If he goes back and gets a Corrupting Potion, he'd be able to stay in the lane for a lot longer, and once that happens, you have the kind of I'm not going to die, so you may as well just farm kind of lane where like you're not trying to kill each other anymore, and you just kind of wait for ganks, because that's something Char will not be able to.
Big give ganks in the mid lane immediately. Count is going to be bursted out. Ratex was close by, but just no time for him to respond, and that's the 4th kill of the game going over to Manute now.
I almost felt the pike death from below kind of thing coming in there. It's the sound of it.
Yeah.
Very, very low there from Whimsy. I'm not too sure like if they should be focusing the mid lane here. I was just thinking about it in my head.
Here's a gank in the bottom lane. Onslaught of Shadows comes in, and Valkyrie is taken out straight away. The kill actually goes over to Whimsa on the Thresh. And nice response coming in from Trinity in that bottom side, keeping themselves 2 kills behind.
Yeah, I feel like that's the lane that they should be putting more pressure onto. Granville should be sitting down there as well, because Caitlyn is such a strong pick in the late game, but if you can accelerate her into the mid game, it becomes increasingly difficult for anyone to step up, because her range is incredible. The trap line comes down and no one can step up. And that is a perfect setup for any fight if they have to walk through a couple of traps and take some poke. And she's like a stronger poke champion than most, because it's not skill shot based. You have to wait for them to step on a trap and you just have the line and wait. So it's very, very easy, and Granvolt going a little bit heavy into the jungle, but I think he's going to make it out of that one alright.
Yep,
Guess
Blast Cone is there, and he is okay. Can get out of that one just fine. And once again, evading this Hecarim, who finally having an impact in the bottom lane, but is still a lot more behind than he would be used to. All in all, 2,500 gold in front as we approach the 10-minute mark. And especially these solo laners on the side of Manute doing pretty nicely for themselves in terms of these items. Look at that Cassiopeia, who already has the tier and looking to build towards finishing that Archangel Staff. Sitting pretty as well. The mid lane has been one of the quieter ones, but 1 kill up on Count Whimsy. 1-2 specifically has to be pretty happy.
Yeah, and his summoner spells are coming back up there now. He has his cleanse up. He'll have flash in a couple of seconds. He'll feel a lot safer. He might even start trading a little bit more. You see him going for those Qs, but once the Dark Matter comes down from Vega, you kind of just step back. But I'm sure we'll see him start to go in for those big trades and getting those Twin Fangs down and forcing him back under the tower, because he does have that lead. He has his summoners back now, and I'd say he's feeling a little bit safer. But the Whimsical one is setting up for a gank now on this bot side. So Valkyrie and the real Whimsy are going to have to be a little bit careful now of the other Whimsies. Could be 4 Whimsies down here in a couple of seconds.
That's a lot of me in that bottom lane if that does end up breaking out. But right now, it looks as if the Hecarim's not looking to make too much of a move. And in the meantime, really good trades coming out. Actually, Whimsy going for the hook there. Was going to get hit with the ace in the hole. The real Whimsy trying to make the play here. Has the death from below and finishes off that kill. Whimsy trying to trade it back. Is able to catch up with the pike right at the end. Ultimate not going to proc, and the teleport coming through as well. That's a double kill for that Tristana. And Trinity managing to turn around that play in the bottom side with the timely arrival of the top and jungler.
Yeah, Whimsical 1 and new Whimsy coming in there very, very nicely. Whimsat does actually go down, but that's perfectly fine. The kills go over to the carries, and they should get a lot of damage down to that tower as well. A nice advantage picked up. They might lose a few plates on that top side, but I'm sure the new is happy.
They might be losing their mid laner, but a really nice stun and great timing there from Raytex. Shows up to get the shutdown onto Granvolt's J4. And now Trinity are beginning to get things going. Still behind, but a few nice kills to get them a bit of momentum.
Yeah, the Trinity ball started rolling now and they're feeling more comfortable. Here comes another one.
Yeah, 1-2 in a lot of trouble. Has the cleanse. The flash is not enough to get you away from the primordial burst. Trinity now ahead in kills after that passage of play.
Yeah, I'm sure they're happy with that now. They just need to keep this kind of momentum up and keep the ball rolling here, and that's just everything worked there so perfectly for them. It was just in the right order, the right kind of ganks, and it all comes down to the rotations coming from Raytex there, working his way around the map very, very quickly, very nicely, putting their Predator to good use, and great stuff there from Trinity.
Yeah, after quite a dismal start, that has to be really reassuring for Trinity in this game. Still behind on gold though, still 1,000 down, so they have to keep an eye on that, but they're showing that they have the opportunity to make these plays now, although Granvolt looking for Drake number 2 would only be an Ocean, so Drakes haven't been ideal for Manute despite their control over the bottom side of the map. The extra regen will be handy though if this laning phase keeps extended, so we'll see how that affects the game for the next while.
Yeah, and then there's going to be another cloud popping up after that, so as the game continues they will start stacking more and more Drakes, and it should start to become a priority soon enough for the guys to say, okay, we can't just keep giving them these 3 objectives, and we have to try to take some sort of fight down there, and they should be looking for them soon considering how far ahead they are. And it's kind of coming down to very small kind of macro decision making there, and not watching where the enemy jungler was in the bot side and stuff like that. That isn't really affecting them here. Valkyrie and Runes should have been a little safer there, but overall the game isn't won or lost at these kind of stages, but things swing so very quickly in these styles of games that, like, as you saw, like 1 gank turned into 2, turned into 4 kills. Things can go very, very quickly, and Granvolt did pull the trigger quite early in that mid lane and did get stopped by the baby cage from Count Whimsy, but as we keep going through they have to kind of sit back and go, okay, if we're Manu, what do we do here? We play it a little bit slower, we get some more vision down, we know where Whimsical 1 will be before we start going the aggro, And the vision is coming out slowly, like, but in the top side they have absolutely nothing, and the bot side's being cleared out, so they need to keep on top of the warding and getting more and more pinks down, and I haven't seen many pinks come out from Valkyrie, so that can start to be a bit of a problem.
And just looking at what Minute potentially do here, looking to actually make something happen in the top lane here as Nuawim's going very hard at the gank, but a really nice root and flash will get him a bit of space, but the flash cataclysm will quickly close the distance here. However, the Mets guy's still doing quite a lot. Valkyrie and Neo on the bottom lane, if the gank comes through, is in a lot of trouble. That is 2 kills for Minute though. One on the top lane, one on the bottom side. 80 carries were traded between the two teams, but with that kill coming through the gank of the top lane, they can pop the Rift Herald and likely get that first tower.
Yeah, that'll be first tower going over to the guys there at Minute, and that's a very nice turnaround for them, picking up something. And I was just saying before that it wasn't a lot of vision up there for the side of Trinity as well, and very nicely done. They could maybe get 2 here if no one's going to respond just quickly enough, if they do decide with the flag from Granville coming in and Jara having a lot of base damage, but they're going to back off. It's going to take a couple of camps. That very nice sequence of play there, and both teams are really playing their heart out here, really trying to get every advantage they can, and they're playing it at the right kind of tempo. They're playing at their kind of speed, but maybe staying a little bit too long there, Granville. He might be in trouble. No, he's okay.
He's okay. The Hecarim just comes on in, grabs the remaining Krug, and sends Granville on his way. Now Granville's too stressed about it. He got that tower in the top lane as well. Also quite a bit of chip damage as well onto the tier 2 in that top side. So potentially the opportunity to knock that down quite quickly later on in the game. Still Minute with the gold advantage. Trinity have steadied the ship, but even then Minute showing that they can make these plays, and they're likely going to be waiting on scaling for quite some time. Cassiopeia needs a couple more items in the inventory, same with that Caitlyn before they really have the big damage coming out of their carries. But in the meantime, Granville looking to maybe make some plays. Has the pike there to back him up, but that is a dead Hecarim. Kill comes through. Lantern from NASA just a little bit too late, and they pick off the jungler. 8-7 now to Minute.
Yeah, very nice pickup there, and very timely as well. They can really get some stuff done now. They can move around the map, really put some pressure down, get some vision down more importantly, and as you see, they've already moved into the bot side. They've put a lot of vision down. They're probably going to try siege in that bot side tower, and Shiara's feeling even more comfortable here up in the top side and looking to trade more and more. So a very nice pickup there, and Granville getting very aggressive in the ending jungler, and no one could respond in time. Very nicely done.
You see the trades continuing in that top side of the map. Shiara still in control of this 1 versus 1 with the Black Cleaver finish. That's gotta really be helping him out in these long extended trades against the Maokai, but not enough, too much pressure elsewhere from the side of Minute. You'd be thinking, would they like to really push hard towards that middle lane tower, but that can be risky if you overextend for that. So maybe just holding their finger off of the trigger for the moment, maybe waiting for a couple more picks, because they have been coming across quite a few of them throughout this game. The next Drake is spawning in just a few seconds if they want to move for that. It is only another Cloud, so maybe not the highest priority objectives, but potentially an opportunity for them to make another play.
With a Hecarim, they should be looking to try to get at least 10% extra movement speed onto a Hecarim who has such a high movement speed. You can't really go wrong with that. That can equal a lot of damage for him, so picking that up would never be a bad thing. Also stops them ramping them up, because the next one could be another Cloud, and you don't want to give them the opportunity to get 3, because it is quite a lot of movement speed to get around the map, but not gonna lie, you can get around really, really quickly. And it looks like they're just not going to put any sort of pressure down at all on these objectives, and just let them go over. The next strike will also be a Cloud, so that's interesting. So that could be 3 Cloud Drakes going over, so they can move very quickly around the map. It's like Hecarim's fast, but a 3 Cloud Drake snake is quite fast too.
We'll see how that shakes out for them, as now 3 Drakes for Minute. Not the greatest cache of Drakes you could be asking for if you're in complete control of that pit, but like I said, you're the big advocator for the movement speed, so
It's
I
good.
suppose we've got one happy person here with the Drakes have been working out so far. But in any case, still a lot of pressure for them across the map. Trinity have been on the defensive for quite a bit this game. We have the Baron spawning in just over 30 seconds. It's likely too much for either team to really get a chokehold and pressure over that area of the map. Although we could see play in the mid lane here. A stun comes in on this Hecarim, and once again, Raytex is picked off by Grandbolt, who has had his number this game. With the flash primordial burst, means Cat Whimsy trades it straight back onto the mid laner. Not enough damage coming through without the ultimate to make it a second kill, but a trade once again in the mid lane, 1-for-1.
Yeah, and that Glacial Augment really made a difference there. As soon as the Frozen Belt came out and just kind of pinged onto them, the ice fields just made it so much easier to land that stun, and 1Noodle2 once again getting caught out. Kind of with that ult, just flashing away from it twice now. You can't really flash away from it because it kind of just looks bigger when it hits you. That's the only difference. But a very nice counter gank coming in, and a very nice counter engage as well onto the Hecarim there coming from 1Noodle2, just turning and ulting straight away. Very nicely done, but it's going to get worse and worse the more you feed into the Veigar. And the longer the game goes, the more of a field of snow we're going to say he has. And the trades up here have been wet noodle trades. Grandbolt is a little bit closer than Raytex right now, so this could turn into...
Yeah, the junglers have things a bit sharper than the wet noodles here, but a lot of damage being sustained. However, now Nuo Wims below health bar. Wims go one as well, will fall. It looks as if the Aatrox chain will pull the Maokai back in, but they can't get to him quickly enough to finish off that kill. And once again, the Veigar just picks one off in response. Grandbolt finally dives in to finish off the Maokai, making it a 2-for-1 so far. And now the rest of Manu's looking to make it even more in their favor as they jump onto the Count, who will fall. Death from below coming in from the Pike. And Manute with the team fight win so far, 3-for-1, looking to make it 4 if they can pick off this Thresh. The flash out from Wimsa not going to be enough. Grandbolt denying his support, the kill steal coming in, but a big win for Manute now. And off the back of taking the few towers beforehand, they now possess a commanding gold lead.
Yeah, very nice move there, and I think the Cloud Drake's kind of helped out there with the Speedy Snake, getting them around the map. I think my point is now proven as well. Cloud Drake, Spec Drake. But no, the way they got up to those fights, it was very quick, and they got there in time to catch out the Veigar, who's been so slippery in the last couple of fights and getting away, and getting out of stuns and such. Very nicely done there by the guys, and they're just moving straight into the jungle onto Raytex here. Raytex could be in trouble. No, they're not. It's not going to go for a blind flag and drive. Just going to leave it the way it is. But they picked up 3 towers off that. They're moving around the map perfectly. Valkyrie didn't even have to leave lane. Just sat there, got every bit of farm he could, or he could, sorry. Oh, didn't knock the vulture there for a second. V's would get off.
I think Black Vulture playing in the other semi-final, but that's at a later date. In any case, the siege coming down in the mid lane for Manute, who are 5 towers to 0 ahead. However, there's a teleport flag coming through, and maybe Trinity are thinking of fighting this, but this Maokai very far ahead of his team. How long can he tank it? It jumps the Hecarim with the onslaught of shadows, but down he goes straight away. The real Whimsy on a killing spree now, and it looks as if Manute are just ready to roll over them with the damage advantage as 3 go down on the side of Trinity. Nuo trying to do his best, but he is one Maokai against the world. A double kill for Valkyrie on this Caitlyn, and Whimsy the only survivor of that fight, as once again Manute clean up.
Yeah, and they just were ready for that fight. Maokai maybe going a little bit too deep on that teleport. Kind of maybe sat back a little bit more, it might have been okay. There wasn't a lot of vision available to them, so he felt like that was the play to be made, but the way they sat back and just took that fight and said, okay, we'll play this nice and slow, take it 1 by 1. Valkyrie got the free fire that entire fight, and I think that's what made the difference. Caitlyn's had the time to scale. She can just sit back now and free fire, and as you can see, just out-damaged them right now. It could have been a very nice catch, but they were just a little bit too scattered coming in there. Shiara could be in trouble here.
Might have the catch onto Shiara, going to slow him with the Chilling Smite. Yoma's Ghostblade is used, and the Hecarim, not considering the chase worth enough to continue to follow that Aatrox, will back off after chasing him out of the jungle. But now things really beginning to look dire for Trinity. They have fallen behind significantly in gold over the last 5-10 minutes or so, and with the big items now in the inventories of pretty much every member of Manute, that Caitlyn has those first 3 complete items. Cassiopeia as well, building towards finishing that Leandri's Torment and already having a huge impact in all of these team fights. So the damage is now there for Maynooth, and it's tough to see a way for Trinity to get back into it, bar a series of picks. They might have one here though, onto the Cassiopeia. Petrifying Gaze is used to stop the Maokai, but that still means the Whimsical one can pump out the damage. They pick off the Cassio, and while Maynooth taking the Cloud Drake on the other side of the map, a little bit of respite for Trinity.
Yeah, they've picked up something. They've got some gold into the pockets there. And it's not a terrible thing to pick up something in this late stages. Like, if you pick up a 1 and 3 mid laner, it's still some gold. It's still, you need to be looking at this like we need to pick off a more prime target. If you find Grand Vault somewhere, that would be even nicer. But it is something, and it can rebuild the tempo, rebuild the momentum. It's something you can take from that. It's like, we got one, let's keep going, see what we can find next. It's up to them to keep going now and not kind of put the heads down and go, alright, it's a warm-up game, we'll go next, it's fine. Because that's still, it's still a kind of motivational thing. It's like, if you go, oh, it's just a warm-up game, someone thinks like, yeah, we should have done better anyway, warm-up or not. So definitely looking at this like this game isn't over. We can still pick up a nice objective. If they go for the Baron, which they've started pinging, that could be a big objective. If they can steal it, that can be even nicer. There is a lot of ways for our Hecarim to get into the pit. He is fast enough usually just to dash around into it or go over with the ults. There still is opportunities for him to get back into this. It is just such a big goal lead, and it's starting to look really bad for them, especially in the team fight there when the damage wasn't there for them. And it's up to Whimsy now to kind of take the lead here on the next fight and get those key targets, put the bomb on the right person, and make sure to get it off.
Yeah, we do see them right now fighting over Vision in the Baron area. Definitely Maynooth with priority in terms of trying to get those wards down. Trinity having to keep their distance in case the engage from Grand Vault or the real Whimsy comes through. Looking for the hook, but it seems not there to back him up. Just being a nuisance for the moment. You have to be careful.
Little dance.
A few dance moves there as well, just to
prove a point.
show him. He has to be having fun considering 4-1 and 4 on this fight. He's had a really good performance so far as well as the rest of his team.
Ooh, the catch.
Not the target they wanted. This Jarvan's pretty beefy, and I'm not sure how much AP that this Veigar has right now, but I doubt he's as big as he would like to be. I think so far he's only stacked 219, so still a ways away from those Veigars with the insane amounts of ability power that we normally see.
Trinity 19 bonus, not total, by the way.
Yeah,
asks.
It was total. Yeah, that would be pretty dire. I think he's sitting just short of 500 total, so it's still a fair bit. But even then, he's still not in the best of spots. Maynooth, we're thinking about starting the Baron there, but going to back off. It's still wary of an engage coming out from Trinity. Don't want to get picked off and have this game turn around on them. Yeah,
they have to play this nice, slow, methodical, know what they're doing and know what they're going for. The Veigar noises are interesting. It's first I've actually heard voice lines when I'm casting. Usually I don't hear much. But they're going to look around now, maybe force the fight around the Baron. They don't need to exactly start it, they just need to sit around it. But the spoofy ghosts are going to keep coming out, and I'm sure that Count Whimsy will have them on lock. They can just keep throwing them in. Probably has one of the runes that makes it on a shorter cooldown. And that's kind of all they need to stay on the right kind of vision side of things. But on the other side, it can be burst very, very quickly by the likes of Aatrox and a Caitlyn. And they started, no vision available to them yet. It's up to Radex now to get in there.
Taking a while for them to get through it. All 5 members are sticking on that Baron as well. See Ratex looking for the engage. He's actually going to be hooked back in. A big onslaught of shadows, and they have a few members low. However, the Aatrox ultimate will be popped as the Resurrects come through for Maynooth. But still Trinity with their big health bars. They get the shutdown onto Grand Vault, and now Nuawims is chasing down this Aatrox. Can't quite get to him and will likely fall to the Cassiopeia on the backside of the fight. But so far it's a 1-for-1. It's a lot better than what Trinity have been getting. And they will force Maynooth away from this Baron for now.
Yeah, I'm not sure quite what happened in that fight. It looked so heavily favoured to Maynooth with all the advantages they picked up, but it just, when it came to it, the focus was just better there from Trinity. They knew what they were going for in that team fight, and they pick up a big bounty there from Grand Vault as well. Very nicely done there by the guys, and now just a quick reset the waves, and I think they'll be saying, okay, if Maynooth make another mistake like that, we'll take it. We'll sacrifice our tree for the king of Demacia anytime. That's fine. That's perfect for them right now, and if they keep that up, they'll definitely find a way back into this game.
And Maynooth maybe thinking of taking this Mountain Drake first that is about to spawn would allow them to cut through that Baron quicker, because they weren't too fast in burning that Baron down in that previous attempt there, despite having a composition that probably should be able to take it fairly quickly. In any case, though, Mountain Drake definitely does not hurt, and there is no contest coming through, looking like it will be 5th Elemental Drake of the game, although not quite there quickly enough. And actually, Raytex may have something to say about this if he goes down to the pit, although I don't know whether he really wants to commit to it. Shiara just zoning them out as well, and now with the Mountain Drake taken.
Horse clippers on, you can't see the Drake, it's flying too high.
Yeah, he's a bit worried about it, but actually the Mountain Drake, the Baron, I should say, the Mountain Drake was already taken. The Baron has been started up here by Maynooth, and Trinity just very, very far away from this one. They're on their way over, but they are tearing through it now with the help of that Mountain Drake buff. They managed to finish it off this time, and now Nuhim's completely isolated. In jumps the Hecarim, but he's already lost his top laner, and one man's down, two man's down now, as the Raytex falls, and in comes the fight. Death from below, death to everyone on the side of Trinity. Make that an ace for one as they completely demolish the fight after the Baron take.
Yeah, a couple of flashes there just for cheekiness coming out of one noodle too. Very nicely played fight there. They got exactly what they needed. They got the Baron very, very quickly. I think Cassiopeia made the difference there in the damage from the first time she was sitting out of the pit last time, and this time she was there. Twin Fangs constantly procking and re-procking and just shredding through that Baron. And that is a very nicely played game from Maynooth. And the horses didn't quite cut it this time, did it? I was really looking forward to seeing Raytex's Hecarim again, but it just didn't quite hit the mark this time.
A champion that he is known for, but like you said, just not hitting the mark, as Maynooth had the answer at every stage of that game, and they will go 1-0 up in this best of 3. Very, very strong performance from them, and Trinity going to have to lick their wounds and try come up with a strategy to deal with the big individual strength on the side of Maynooth. We are going to cut to a short break here as the teams get ready for the second game of the series. So make sure you guys keep that browser open, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it
And we are back into picks and bans for Game 2 of this best of 3 Irish Collegiate Championship semi-final in Division 2 between Trinity Force and Maynooth Crusaders. Maynooth holding a 1-0 lead after quite a strong performance. We were expecting these teams to be fairly evenly matched, but just really good individual displays across the board from Maynooth.
Yeah, absolutely stunning games coming out from them there, and just the way they played into the later stages of the game, they were so methodical. They knew exactly what they had to do, and even when things started to look a bit scary, it was perfect coming from them. Not much changed ban-wise. We have seen a Jarvan ban this time. I believe that was the Urgot last time, and Vladimir still being taken away there. So I think Urgot is the only change from the ban phase so far, and it will be picked up straight away.
Yeah, that's the champion that Trinity banned away last time on that red side, but obviously Nua in that top lane, a big Urgot player. The response will be that Aatrox though, so Shiara obviously feeling that he's enjoying how that matchup is working with the Aatrox pick, but the Urgot, a different kettle of fish compared to the Met guy from last game.
Yeah, it is a skill matchup and it's been played numerous times. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do match up. The Rek'Sai being picked up, quite looking forward to that. I do really like seeing Rek'Sais because they can really shake it up when it comes to like that mid game with that big ult change where like it's now you can't really be stopped anymore, and then the Conqueror coming in, so just jumping in and kind of cancelling a CC or two. I've seen some people dodge Syndra ults with it. Some amazing stuff coming out from some of the Rek'Sai players. So seeing them go over something along the lines of Rek'Sai and an Urgot, really looking forward to seeing what might happen there, if there's any cool interactions we might see where he can maybe dodge the chains. See something like that. That'd be cool. But a Nami being picked up for NASA here. Very nice. I do like Nami. She is top tier at the moment. She's probably the favourite support of most in solo queue at the moment. And of course the Talon Troll again from Count.
Yeah.
He's
not picking that.
For it.
No. There we go. That's a lot more likely. Going with the Nami and the Sivir in that bottom lane. Were you hoping for the Talon?
No, I don't like the Sivir and Nami because Nami's such a little pokey, aggressive kind of support, and I like seeing like the likes of Jinx with it. I would like to see them pick up a Jinx there with it because you can just keep going.
Well, you like to see Jinx in any case, but I think that it's just a case of the ultimate comfort here for that Trinity bottom lane. Their two most played champions in the tournament being taken here in game 2, foregoing the Thresh this time and putting it with the Sivir. We'll see the second round of bans coming through. Once again, the Cassiopeia in the mid lane for 1Noodle2. Not the strongest performance from him in game 1, but still happy to be that late game source of damage, and also gives them the leg up in terms of both mid lane and jungle bans here in the second round.
I thought the Cass was quite strong with some of those ults, especially stopping the Hecarim. But that's she said, he said, and lots of whimsies said. A lot of whimsies. But Nautilus and Lysandra taken away same as last time in the second rotation. The Nautilus obviously being a favourite there for asking the answer, so we won't take that away again. What will they ban now though? They have to look towards that mid lane, and I feel like maybe LeBlanc or something like that, something a little bit more assassin based. Maybe go towards the jungle bans, take away the Hecarim. I think that Urgot's going into the jungle. I'm going to say that now.
It could. That is, you have a little bit of a look at some of the games that Raytex has been playing in solo queue or even normals games, and it does come out from time to time. So obviously it would be pretty crazy if that's what they opted for, especially considering how much success Nua has had on the champion. But hey, if they want to flex it, they can go for it. Choosing to ban away that Pike though, you can see them looking to take away the big engaged supports, especially on something like the Nami. You want to keep yourself as safe as possible because you're a lot squishier than you were on that Thresh, but there's still a few options for Ask and the Answer if he wants to go with the big engaged support. So we'll see what the call is here. But first, they got to get that Jinx.
Let's go.
I'll let you take it away, Sader.
I'm just going to say Jinx is the best champion in the goddamn game because if you get one kill, you just keep going. And there's nothing wrong with running at people at top speed and just keep shooting constantly. Great. It's like Borderlands in League.
I feel like shooting. You had me there until running them in top speed, not realizing that you are not exactly the most mobile in terms of dashes and things like that. So you could kind of find yourself on the end of some CC if you get too close, but that's okay. She still has her certain strengths, so we'll see what they actually pair with that support. The Nunu going to be coming in though for the whimsical one in that jungle position, and that's an oldie for him, but like with his what's you saying?
It's a new pick as well, though, isn't it? It's
Well-
a kind of a favorite now in the jungle.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's well, it's something that we don't really see him often on, but I think with the Talia and the Hecarim both being taken away, it's like he's kind of got to dig down deep, and they're once again going to go with that Vhagar in the mid lane. Count had a nice performance. I think one of the better performing players on his
standout
team
player. Yeah.
in that game one. So he's obviously happy with how that matchup works against the Casio. And in the bot lane, there is looking like
Leona.
the big engaged support coming through. He was switching it up a bit, but he's going to stick with that Leona. A lot of CC coming out in this bot lane duo.
Yeah, I would have really liked the Braum pick there for asking the answer. It's very, very nice with the Jinx. You get that big shield, you get to keep free firing and feel a little bit safer. It stops the bubble, it stops boomerang blades. It can even stop the ones that bounce off. It's a very nice pick, but Leona still a lot of lockdown, can work really well if they can just get the kill onto Nami, get hyper, keep going, never stop running. But overall, Count with the Vhagar again, very nice pick. I am happy about that. He was a standout player and he did get a lot of good catches, a lot of damage coming out, had everything he needed. On the other side of it, I'm looking at it's the very same kind of style of comp, but a little bit more aggressive now coming out at bot lane for Manus, and that's what I want to see. I want to see them get a little bit more aggressive in that mid game instead of playing kind of that little slow paced one, waiting for them to make a mistake. I want to see them going forward. I want to see them going in. And Granville with Rek'Sai, perfect as well. Then on the other side, there's a lot they can work with here. There's a lot of different lanes I can carry. So Granville has the opportunity to look wherever he wants to get his team snowballed into the right kind of area. All of the like team fights that are going to come out, it's going to be back on Nua Lake to kind of carry this, I think. For the I'm going to call them the Whimsy squad from now on. Forget Trinity,
Yeah.
just it's Whimsy.
The Whimsical ones. Or the Whimsical 5. That could be the...
Whim City or In Sync YYY. Trinity. I like that one. I'm sorry. It is In Sync though. You're the boy band. Entrepreneur.
Yeah,
Entrepreneur. What's
yeah.
the word for?
I'll give you that one. Okay.
Yeah. You are the
Um,
boy band, but it's In Sync.
Yeah. I no.
So you can
My
be proud
my
about it.
karaoke speciality. Bit of NSYNC, bit of Backstreet
Is there any
Boys.
videos
but-
you do in karaoke that we could play during?
Oh, there probably is somewhere out there, but I'd rather them not be played on stream. Aiden could hunt it down if he really if he's really stressed about it. He probably
Okay,
knows
so
where a
you
few of them are.
Okay, I got an idea. You do the proper shout outs for our sponsors, and I'll shout out. There's a Twitter page about what our lovely admin.
Oh,
Extra
yeah.
says.
I'll
we
get
can-
the first sponsors in there, so we can kind of separate them in terms of the clips and stuff.
Yeah,
But-
you go.
Yeah, so once again, shout out to Marvin.ie for helping us out. Oh, guys, want some takeaway? Go to Marvin.ie and you guys can get your takeaway. Once again, the code is ICE5 and you can get a bit off your order as well. Our producer is telling us not to link his Twitter account. I think if you message, you can probably get it off of us. But once again, yeah, thanks to Marvin. Also, Red Bull, our sponsors as well. You guys, need to keep brains engaged. Need to keep that energy. You guys pick up the Red Bull. They're very good to us. It helps out a lot of their Smash events as well, which is always a great help. Actually, Shiara in the top lane, not only a League of Legends player, also competed in the Smash event at Manute as well and did really well for himself. Was very close to qualifying for our finals, although ended up just missing out in the end. But multi-game talent, also Valkyrie as well at the AD carry position, used to play for the CSGO
Don't you
team
play?
in Manute. So
Smash.
these guys very flexible across the board in terms of the games they play, and obviously bringing a lot of success with them to this Manute Division 2 team.
Didn't you play Smash and have difficulty finishing the story?
No, that was Aiden,
okay.
the
It was
ICE
one of
owner
you
and
two.
producer, who never actually finished the story and had to hand it off to one of our other admins to complete the game. But
I'm going to say that I haven't finished it either,
oh,
but that's because I'm too hyped for Mortal Kombat coming out, so I started playing the old one. So that's the
That-
reason. I do
that's
like Smash.
that's a better excuse than I can't beat Pichu, which
Oh my god, what?
yeah.
Aiden. Man.
sorry to put him on blast, but he had a long time to complete that game and he never did. So,
Pichu is a bully. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, actually, in fairness, in Smash, Pichu right now is actually pretty strong. So
really?
in the current one of them, I think they were like, well, he was so bad in Melee, we gotta make him at least playable, and in doing so, they actually made him pretty strong. So
I'd actually love to go to a Smash event just to watch because I'm not a good player, but I like the scene, the fighting game scene. It's always
Hey,
been a lot of fun. Like,
There's a Smash event on in UCD this weekend, actually, on the 13th. So, when I say this weekend, I mean the weekend coming. So the 13th, you can go down there. Obviously, you have to be a student to play, but yeah, it's our last chance qualifier for our finals. So, I mean, if you're interested, or if anyone is interested, it's open to people from all colleges. So make your way down to UCD, play some Smash, have some fun.
College students.
This is literally Irish Collegiate Esports, man. Calm down on that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Calm down on the stage, Jesus. All right. Aren't you still going to NCI?
No,
or
I'm
is it
finished.
NCR? Oh,
I'm not.
but yes. So in any case, getting ready for this game too. What are you expecting out of Trinity, just in terms of actually, because we didn't look at the comps for too long. I kind of like the adaptation that was made towards that top side, where they're going for the Urgot now. Should allow Nua, who's actually one of the key players on the Trinity side, had a rough time in that game one, but now I think has a lot more on his own end to fight with.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just looking forward to seeing what they can pull out when it comes to the future, because New Lake is one of the bigger carries for the team, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do when it comes to the laning phase, because I think he needs to take the advantage here early against Shiara, because he did kind of, it's weird to say, but in the Maokai matchup he stayed ahead in farm. He looked more dominant, and some of his TPs were questionable but still good. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he's on a more comfortable, can he make those big plays, and there's the pause. But I'm looking forward to what he's going to do when it comes to the laning phase, because if he can get the advantage over Shiara, it gives the whimsical one on this Nunu a chance to go to other lanes and apply more pressure. And that bot lane being as volatile as it is with the Jinx Leona, when a Jinx gets ahead and gets that Runins and the IE, team fights are so focused on killing that Jinx. You can't think about anything else when you're going to team fight against a Jinx when it's fed. You have to kill it straight away, because those rockets start coming out, the splash damage. If you're standing beside someone, they get hit, you're getting hit. Even if a rocket doesn't hit you, you're getting hit, because the splash damage is huge. So I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, it is an Irish Esports game without a pause at some stage during any series. We've had 10 to 15 minute pauses at some stages as well. I think me and you had one, Mimsy. We were constantly coming in and out of breaks, which was fun. It happens.
The internet tends not to be the best in Ireland, which is probably a big contributor, but thankfully the issue was resolved fairly quickly, and now the players are ready to get into game two. Maynooth on the red side, 1-0 lead in this series, and now are one game away from making the Division 2 final and knocking the reigning champions of the Collegiate Championship out. However, Trinity will be looking to bounce back here in this second game and try take us to a decider. Saw Granvolt in all the tension and the hype. Forgot to buy his items, but remembered before the buff spawn, so he got that back in time. What are you expecting between these two junglers? Because I feel as if the dynamic in this matchup is a lot different, especially considering that the whimsical one is not on one of, I should say one of his signature champions, his signature champion, but still up against a jungle that can put out quite a bit of early pressure in terms of that Rex.
Yeah, I still feel like he's in the very same kind of tangent of what he likes. He likes speed and he likes CC when he comes in. So it's still like a Hecarim, but just a colder Hecarim. Less pony, and more young boy on the back of the Yeti. But he still has the very same kind of style where he comes in and gets the CC and helps out his team. He's just tankier now and has a little bit less damage. So he's like a pseudo Hecarim, we'll say. But he still has the very same kind of idea coming in. He's going to get in CC and help his team out. So on the other side of Granvolt was Jarvan with tank stats last game. A little bit of damage, but he's quite tanky. This time around he's Conqueror Rek'Sai, which has a lot of damage, a lot of sustain, and is looking to do a lot of damage. That's a nice level 2 stat.
There's the level 2 engage.
Traps are a little bit late there. But still, nice engage. The range you can get as a Leona with that blade is kind of insane. But that's a very nice trade coming out already.
Ooh. Yeah, continuously getting these engages down. The real Whimsy doing a good job of just really kind of laying down the law in that 2 versus 2, already forcing the duo on the side of Trinity to burn through those health potions and making things scary. Maybe a bit different when Sivir gets that spell shield. She can deny a bit of the engage, but Like you said, if they can coordinate these engages a little bit better, they can really cause some problems here. And actually, the traps do connect there. There's the Ignite coming down. The heal is going to be used, but the flash auto will give the first blood over to the Leona. Once again, Maynooth off to a flying start.
Yeah, starting the lane off exactly as they want. They want to get that pressure down, stop Silver from farming, push it in, and Jinx looking to get a BF sword straight away as early as possible. And an assist, not terrible, not too far away from the BF sword. Couple more waves and she'll have it, and then once the Jinx gets rolling, it's going to be increasingly difficult for the YYY bot lane to do anything. And nice sidestep there from one Noodle too.
Yeah, using the flash as well, just to keep himself away from that Nuna. But on the top side, there's a lot of damage onto this Aatrox here. He used to flash away, but Nua just follows him with his own flash and gets the solo kill in the top lane. A bit of revenge there after a pretty tricky game one. Nua with the solo kill.
Very nicely done there by Nua, picking up something for his team there, keeping them in it, because once that first kill comes in, all the heads go down, you're like, oh no, it's starting. And then Nua like comes back in, picks up a solo kill and goes, like, I got this, it's fine. Keep the heads up. Once that silver gets to the late game, you can just ult me, I'll do all the work. Just stay alive, do your thing. So, very nicely done, picks up a solo kill. Flash now gone from Chiara as well, so I'm sure we'll see Whimsical 1 head up there at some stage to give a little bit more of an advantage over to Lake. I'm looking forward to that. He does have his TP available. He's going to be comfortable shoving that in and then returning to that lane now as soon as he can. I'm not sure if he'll TP, I think he'll just walk up because the wave's in a nice place. So he also has the opportunity now to roam to a different lane and maybe, just maybe come down to that bot side and relieve some of the pressure there from YYY.
Did use his teleport to get himself back into lane, already with the Phage as well, so he's sitting pretty in that 1 versus 1, but less of a chance for him to show up as a surprise in the bottom lane, as he likes to do. But once again, going for the engage, and this Aatrox is just on the receiving end of a beating, very close to going down. As soon as this Urgot gets back, and he's already used the teleport, this is going to be quite a bit of damage coming down on the top lane. Has the ultimate and hooks him back in from long range. Nua, second solo kill of this game, popping off this top lane.
Yeah, very nicely done. Just gets his level up and just Nua Lake just fires the shot and that's it done. No ult available for Chiara to try save himself. That lane is going to be absolutely horrible for Chiara going forward.
A gank in the mid lane here. Petrifying Gaze is available, but the mana was just not there, and Count just takes that one for himself. And this game, it is Trinity who are off to the races quicker than their opponents. 3-1 ahead, with advantages coming through top and mid lane.
Yeah, a very nice gank coming in there from Whimsical 1 to pick it up for Count Whimsy. No barrier even used there by one Noodle 2, just the debt was there, just it was known. It was known. Drake being started there as well. That's a risky one.
The bubble actually hits over the wall. Can they close the gap on this Rek'Sai? Granville able to get away, and actually Leona jumps on in. A lot of quick damage onto the Nami, and Whimsical will go down. And now Granville thinks he can get the re-engage straight onto that 80 carry, chomps him down, and that's the second kill coming in there for Maynooth. Looking for number 3. Flash just in the nick of time from the Whimsical 1, gets himself to safety, but thinking they could capitalize on the Drake start, but not compensating for the early advantages that Leona and the Jinx gave Maynooth in that skirmish.
Yeah, very nicely done there. A couple of pickups using the hyper very well there. Valkyrie starting to get more and more now. A kill and assist picked up, a nice farm lead, and the engage was right there. They were going in, they were stopping the Drake. They caught lovely on the Granville, but the damage wasn't there for the guys, and the TP even comes in from the Count, and still wasn't enough there. One Noodle 2 getting nice damage down to that mid tower as well. Just everything kind of swung back towards Maynooth there. Very nicely played there, and Granville, this Rek'Sai is slightly busted in this meta. Not gonna lie, Conqueror is a little bit broken. Like, why'd you change it, Riot? It was fine when no one used it, and now it's busted. Everyone uses it. I don't know. Also, double lethal tempo bot lane. I don't think you played a lot of bot lane recently, but okay, never mind.
Yeah, could see a gank coming through in the mid lane here as multiple members of Trinity converging on that Cassio, but one Noodle 2 already well enough back that it's not going to fall afoul of the new snowball, so he can go straight back to farming once again. Trinity trying to make these grouped up plays, but Manute still aware. And like you said, despite Trinity's good start, it's actually Manute who once again find themselves out in front in terms of gold. Farmer advantages in mid and bottom lane, as well as a couple of plates going their way. I should say one plate in that mid lane for that Casio, but still a nice little tick in gold. And as a result, the individual advantage in their favor in the early stages of this game.
Yeah, and I want to touch a slight bit on the items here. So both ADCs, they go for lethal tempo, which means they want to be more aggressive in the lane. They want to get more out. And it's not a lot of healing then coming in, because usually you go fleet footwork for safety. On the other side of it though, Valkyrie is going for a straight IE rush, which is never terrible. He did have to go for pickaxe early due to an early back, and this actually could be a big trade.
Yeah, that Shiara once again going to be pulled back in using the Aatrox ultimate to grant himself a little bit of safety. Nua's going to have to time this. Has the jungler there close by as well. Actually flashing forward. He thinks he can turn this one around, but the ultimate is close to timing out. And once again, as soon as it goes down, Nua gets the kill. Actually gets the fear off as well to keep Grand Vault away. Can the Rek'Sai get something out of the re-engage? And he's jumped on by the Nunu as the Whimsicott shows up in the top lane just in time. A double kill for this Urgot on the brink of death. 4-0-0 is Nua now, and he is looking pretty massive.
Do you remember when I said that Rek'Sai might be able to dodge the Urgot ult? I think he did there, but killed Shiara by dodging it, like tunneling. If we get a replay of that at some stage and like a highlight clip,
It'll be clipped, I'd say.
I want to see if he actually dodged that. That would be like so troll. It's like the Aphromoo flashing to the right, and then killing his ADC more than once at Worlds, etc. But that was great, and Nua like really is going to be the carry for his team here, and I think he has to start moving more down towards that bot side and helping out his bot and digging him out of the hole they're in, because Valkyrie is picking up a huge lead. I'm not liking the build path, which is my point before all the madness, and that I feel it's stronger to go BF Sword Zeal into Runins, because you don't exactly need IE for damage on Jinx, you need the splash damage. But by no means is it bad when you have an advantage like this, but I would like to have seen the Runins finished before the IE.
In any case, still looking pretty nice for himself no matter what he's going with. Should have a big advantage in terms of stats, and you have to imagine a lot will be on this Manu's bottom lane, because unlike the first game, they can't really rely on their top laner to be a big force on the opposite side of the map. It's really just them possessing the big lead for Manute in this game, but they haven't really been able to press it into any plates. They're playing safe. They don't want to step too far forward as the Jinx if you don't know where the Whimsicott 1 is. And as a result, not able to really exert the pressure with their lead as much as they would like.
Yeah, and Nubelek is now one plate away from getting that tower. So he's very, very close to getting that full kind of gold amount as well. So once he gets that, I feel like we'll start to see him rolling now. That's going to be... Oh, God.
Oh, this is a dead Rek'Sai. Yep, picked off in his own jungle. And that will be 6th kill of the game going over to Trinity. Going in the Veigar's pockets, exactly what they want. Finally, a few plates being farmed by this Jinx, but it's only going to be a couple before Whimsa and Whimsy come back to the lane. Those names are once again.
The YYY bot lane. It's the instinct.
You actually you've got the right way to say it. The YYY bot lane have returned to their post. And still looking at the individual advantage, this Jinx is 1.5k gold up on his opposing number, but the rest of the team is just falling behind. The top lane at the moment is over 2,000 gold difference between the Urgot and the Aatrox. So definitely polarized in terms of how the lanes are going right now.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that always feels like you shouldn't funnel all your gold into one lane or person. But when it comes to the likes of an Urgot, I don't mind as much, because the champion is so strong right now. But this looks like it could be a setup for a very nice gank.
Good dive. The Zenith Blade's going to miss, but they're still going to jump straight onto Whimsy, who goes down. Grand Vault, though, tanking the Terror for quite some time. Teleports as well to try bail out the Nami. And it does work. And Nua thinks he might be able to pick off a kill, but he's not able to get close enough to either member of the Manute bot lane. And they back off. However, Grand Vault is in no man's land. Doesn't get the execute, though.
Nice.
So, avoiding giving over the kill. And I think Manute, despite not getting as clean as a dive as they would have liked, they forced the teleport out of this Urgot and also walk away with the kill.
Yeah, very nicely done. They're starting to pick up more and more, and that's kind of what they need. And as they keep going, I feel like they're not extending their lead by too much. They're getting the goal into the right places, yes, but they're not extending the goal lead. Every time they do make a play like this, there is a farm lead taken somewhere, or maybe a plate or two. So there's just a lot going on, I think. And the goal lead is kind of shortening and expanding very, very quickly. And then I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how the next big fight is going to play out, because I feel like the next Drake will be a big point of contention for both teams. Even though it's not that important, I don't feel like either team wants to just give it over anymore. I feel like it was a big point in the first game that was... I know everyone else is going to say clouds weren't important, but the way they got around the map so quickly was very, very important for Maynooth. And I'm sure they're thinking, okay, clouds worked well last time, let's go pick up another one, you know? Because the next Drake will be a cloud Drake, and I feel like they might start to like them now. They might start to become like my friends and actually enjoy clouds, and not just go for Infernals the whole time.
Yeah. Cool kids go for Cloud Drakes, although Nua's going for Chiara here after taking the tower as well, forcing the Aatrox ultimate out. Chiara will try to use that to get away, and the chain actually working out, dodges the fear beyond death to make sure that he won't fall to that ultimate for the fourth time this game. However, 1-2 could be falling as they just collapse on him in the mid lane. Barrier's not going to stop the Primordial Burst coming through. Count with his third of the game. Solo laners for Trinity, both now developing big leads.
Yeah, and no flash used again by 1-2, no respect being given over. And it didn't pick up many of the plates enough. I don't think he actually finished it in time, but he does get the mid tower as well as the top tower, so it's still a lot of gold going over. And you gotta start feeling for the bot lane now if Valkyrie and Beta wins, because they've got to be thinking about this going, okay, well, we might be giving up a little bit too much here and giving too much to the bot side. Maybe start moving up to the top side, because Granvolt has been around that bot side a lot more than he has the top.
Now, I think you called it in terms of the objective that these teams would be looking for. With the Cloud Drake spawning, Trinity in control of the area and should be taking this without any issue whatsoever. Granvolt currently moving through that mid lane, so it's not like he's going to even try for a steal, but Nua has grabbed the Leona, and this is going to be his dead support in just a matter of seconds. It just depends on who the kill goes over to. Fourth up the game for this Veigar, and actually maybe looking to see if they can catch the Cassio as well, with Nunu snowballing on through that mid lane. But 1-2 backing off a fair bit, and actually Stun does connect, actually turning around, facing the Nunu here, but a bit of damage still coming through. However, on the blast code now, should be able to get to safety. Granvolt though, he's being picked up, pulled back in by Nua, locked up by the bubble, taken. This Veigar is just rolling in the kills now at this stage. 5-0 and 0. 1-2 once again being chased down by this Nunu. Seems to be the story of this game for this Cassio so far, but all that means is more and more kills for Trinity.
Yeah, picking up everything they need, just using that Urgot to the best effect they can, and you see them shoving in there now, and I don't think I've seen Valkyrie join any of these fights, and that's who they need right now in these fights, because that's where most of their damage is going to come from. And Granvolt a little bit too squishy right now. The Tabbies isn't really helping him from the count. The count's going to take every bit of help you have, and he's not going to scare them. And the longer this game goes, the more and more he's going to get. He's currently 5-0, and he has 146 extra mana, coming up to 267 total. A lot of golden. He's kind of picked up a second item straight away. He's kind of went back and bought it. That's a bad sign when you can just straight up buy an item. That's how far ahead they are. 2-item Veigar with the Glacial Augment slows, adding onto a Sivir with speed, and Urgot with that amazing execute. There's a lot available to them now to keep fighting, and Valkyrie needs to be stepping it up and getting into these fights. And as you can see, that's a lot of damage coming out from the Jinx already.
Actually, they might be able to turn this pick the teleport coming down. Should immediately turn this around. All he needs to do is get the damage, but the shutdown comes through, going over to the Jinx, exactly who you want. And as soon as the teleport finishes, counters the flash, but the Rek'Sai can follow through. That's 2 kills for Maynooth here, looking for number 3, but another flash being expended by the Whimsical one. Granvolt trying to lock someone else, but yet another flash coming through, but no more escapes left. They have to turn around and fight they do. They take out the Rek'Sai, but once again, traded by Valkyrie, who is just tearing through them. There's your Jinx reset, Satyr. That is 4 kills for Maynooth in the bottom lane, and a big win that was desperately needed.
Yeah, you just keep running at them. I told you, no matter how squishy, you just
You were right. You were right.
And it works every time. Well, 99% of the time, every time. But yeah, that's the stuff we need. Valkyrie coming in there with the damage. Just keep running. You got this. And great stuff. Overall, that's how you play with the Jinx. You just sit around it, wait for the reset, and just keep getting. I'm happy now. That's good. Let's go.
You've been all hyped up now by the Jinx play coming through.
The unhypeable person to see the Jinx and he's just happy. Let's go.
It's
like
the
Captain Flowers with a Skarner. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's actually that's fair comparison. It's the magic ingredient to really get Sailor into the game, but it's also really gotten Maynooth back into this game as well, and they hold a 2.5k goal lead off the back of that, despite being down in kills. There's also the Infernal Drake to keep an eye on as well. Runon's Hurricane has been finished by this Jinx, so she is now really going to do some damage in these team fights. And you have to think Maynooth really have some options here. If this Jinx stays standing for quite a long time in the team fight, then you have to think Maynooth should be able to win, to have a good chance in these 5v5s at the very least.
Yeah, as long as Valkyrie doesn't pull a sneaky and walk headfirst into a tank in a best of 5 series in game 3 when you're 2-0 up, you might be able to win the series, you know?
Hey man, don't remind me of that, alright? That's too soon.
Are you a C9 fan?
Kinda.
Miss
I think an NA team is to be C9, but
I'm Team Liquid. Jensen's doing just fine.
Okay.
But other than that, that's a very nice.
Yeah, haven't used the Petrifying Gaze. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, once again, this Urgot is being picked on. Goes down before the Casio, but eventually 1-2 will fall as part of the trade as these teams swap kills onto each other's solo laners here. But Trinity with the inside track on this mid lane, forcing out the recalls, but they should be able to get a good bit of damage down on this tower.
They might even be able to get this in time with a lot of AP damage scaling through damage, etc., and tower damage. Veigar have a lot available to him, but Shiara with the nice flank. There is an ult available from Valkyrie, so they could have engaged there and tried to get a reset using the Jinx ult, but great stuff. Just a really nice kind of pick and move straight towards an objective, really forcing their hand there. Going for the second Cloud Drake. Valkyrie going to try and contest this one, but I think they're just a little bit too late. But Nunu's actually sitting waiting for a pick. This could be an interesting one. The Trevor Sense is picking it up.
He might have found the pick onto this Rek'Sai, but Granville spots it out with the Tremor Sense, like you said, before that snowball got too close. And he won't fall to the crowd control coming out, but it does afford Trinity once again control of the area. But as soon as they're away, that Rek'Sai sneaking back in, burrowed under the ground. Now looking for the engage, going on to the squishy members. That's a big knockup coming out and a big kill immediately onto that Veigar 2 already. Make that 3 as they take out Whimsy, and now it's just the 2 big tacky members left alive, and they don't have the damage to take out anyone on the side of the Nuke. In 2 minds as to what to do after that fight, but a huge win, a clean ace for Manu.
Yeah, and it's just the power of not stopping the Jinx. When that damage starts coming through, everyone gets like just everything for free. Free resets, free kills, free damage, and it's great to see. Even the whimsical one turned around was like, alright, I'm gonna sit on the Jinx. Jinx is just in the face of the Nunu, shooting away, fine. The damage has already been done, and the carries are gone. And very, very nicely done there by Valkyrie, sitting back, flashing to stay away from the main bulk of the fight, staying within range to keep shooting. Quick Drake, quick Ace, quick Larry, and another big swing of gold. It looked like Trinity started to bring some gold back up into it, and then Maynooth swings it straight back around and says, nope, we're going to take another 3k on top of what we originally had. So very nicely done, and that Jinx now is a QSS, has the rapid fire cannon for that extra kind of, just a poke every now and then, just one rocket flying in. And we'll see, as the game progresses, those couple of rockets, you see them start to like half health someone, if it gets onto the likes of Nami, onto the YYY bot lane even, onto the mid laner. When it starts to hit the squishies, you can see the engage in the eyes then, and it really starts to get dangerous. So Trinity, gotta be careful here. They gotta be looking at this. Gotta play it a little bit safer. They have to get Nualek onto that Jinx as quick as humanly possible. There's no flash on the Jinx right now, so that's what they have to be looking at.
Yeah, pause coming through as Whimsy has disconnected. Should be resolved pretty quickly. Does allow them just a little bit of time to maybe reset the mindsets just a little bit, but they are potentially in for a beating over the next while. That Jinx with the rapid fire cannon finished as well. is going to be a nuisance if Maynooth are ever able to set up properly for a siege. And we'll see what the rest of that Maynooth composition can do to make use of the Baron buff over the next couple of minutes as we unpause this game. That mid lane tower should be falling down pretty easy as the one remaining tier 1 for Maynooth to take. And you have to imagine they'll be extending this goal lead even further with this Baron buff.
Yeah, 100%. And just a quick note, people used to pause in my games if I missed a cannon minion in lane because I thought I was lagging.
Do you not miss my cannons all the time?
You miss your cannons all the time, I don't.
Well, yeah, I still do that to this day.
I literally got paused 4 times in one game because I was lagging, and every time I missed a cannon, they paused and go, "Oh, you missed reset." It was not fun.
Cannons are important, though. This could be an important flank coming through from Raytex here in the backline. A nice stun from the Petrified Gate, though, will slowly Urgot is back, and the key members in the backline being dropped very, very low. Bradford trying to get the kill. In comes the Jinx damage. Double kill for Valkyrie, and all he needed was that little bit of space, and the Rockets tear through Trinity. 4 kills for them in that team fight. Kemp's the only member left alive with barely any health, and now with no one to defend these towers, these structures will be falling on the side of Trinity.
I saw them all clump up as 5, and then the Jinx rocket leave just from the start of Jinx. I was like, this is going to be beautiful. This is great. I'm not supporting any teams. Whoever picks Jinx, you got my vote. But that was great. Brilliant fight there. They set it up. I have to say, Trinity had the perfect idea going in there. They got onto the Jinx, they got the slows down. They just couldn't close the gap quick enough. Because 1 Noogle 2 put down the Miasma, threw out the ult, and then the real Windu was standing there. Whoever came forward, all the CC was just keeping them back. It was kind of like the Riot Wall buffer of like them trying to stop them getting to a celebrity of some sort. Like, oh, Justin Bieber's over at the skate park, and then there's like loads of armed guards, which actually happened in my town one time. And they were just like stopping people from going forward. That's what it was like, just trying to stop them from getting to the Jinx, and it worked out perfectly for them. And it's really, really hard to break into that backline when your main carries are the likes of a Sivir and a Veigar. They're very backline focused, and with Urgot, you kind of just want to be in the middle of the fight, shooting in all directions. And I don't know, it just feels very... It's not the right comp to try backline assassinate someone. You'd need a flank, you'd need a Zed. Even Syndra would have been nice. Vladimir can even get into the back. It was... The team fight looks great when it's working well with the Veigar and the Urgot, but when it's not working and you can't get to that one target you need to, it's very worrisome.
And certainly worrisome for Trinity. I think you're spot on with that. They just cannot get to this Jinx. It was a nice idea with the Nunu flank, but not sticking to CC, and the rest of Trinity having to wade through the Maynooth front line. All Valkyrie do is just keep walking back until the oncomers got bogged down. He just turns around, a few rockets, and they're all dead. So Trinity need to find a way. If they can get that Veigar to the Jinx, he might just be able to blow her up instantly, but that's just not been happening this game so far. Count has had to been playing the backline. His team so dependent on him as one of the big damage sources on their side, but with his team just getting completely melted by Valkyrie in a lot of these fights, does not have the time to, or the space to burst out these key members, and Trinity really struggling to execute the team fights their way their composition needs against this 8-0-9 Jinx.
Yeah, it's quite an impressive scoreline not to have died yet on Jinx, because that's something I haven't learned how to do. I die quite a lot because I keep flashing in. I'm a slight wild.
I hope you're taking notes.
I am actually. I'm writing like QSS good item. Really big letters. It's not my own. Forget, and it's got blood thirst. I'll be alive. Be fine. But
I'm tagged. Yeah, I could just tag.
I can build war mogs on Jinx. Yes. But no, like it very, very well played here for Valkyrie, and just the team set up around. It isn't like a protect the Cosmo or feed the puppy comp, as it was originally called. Koreans have weird names for things. Like mukbang. It's just
raise the puppy was Chinese though.
Yeah, it was. Was it Chinese?
It was Uzi. Uzi was the OG puppy.
He was the OG puppy.
Yeah.
Not the OG puppy, was Niels, but okay. Old memes. Anyone that hasn't played the game in like 4 years won't get that. That was 2015.
That was 20.
Jesus, that was 4 years.
Yeah,
2015. 4 years ago.
long
Jesus.
time ago.
I should quit. I should grow up at this stage. You're amused, aren't you?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you are. Yeah, I'm gonna leave. Never coming back. But no, Jinx is here, so let's stay. But no, this is going to be set up for another Baron, same as last time. I think they'll just set up around it and keep kind of half starting it, being like, oh, start this, but then it'll turn very quickly. We see Valkyrie's going for that red buff, extra slows, maybe stop the Nunu from collapsing so hard after Snowball runs out and just the kind of volley of snowballs is hitting. But as you see, start, throw a few in, they're waiting for the re-engage, and they'll be very happy just to start the fight. They don't need to take this Baron. They can just sit back and they'll be perfectly fine. There's lifesteal available for Valkyrie, and very easy for Valkyrie to step up, take a couple of shots, heal it back up, they'll be fine, and then push on to the fight. So they're setting this up very, very nicely. They're kind of split away from the inhib already, and it's a very scary fight coming in now for Trinity.
Yeah, they need to play this to perfection. Even then, it might not be enough. All the Jinx needs is a little bit of time. Manu's pushing that mid wave in, not looking to press for the inhibitor, so it's not as if Trinity have to worry about the super minions pressuring the base, but
They are in the
push
bot
the wave
side.
in, straight back to the Baron. They pull the members of Trinity towards them, and like you said, they may be looking for the objective, or they may just be angling for the fight. Anyway, Trinity swarming onto the pit, and we may see this fight break out. Lewis going to flash on it, but it's secured by Valkyrie. Takes the Baron for his team. A big stun comes in, but it's not going to be enough, as once again the Jinx just firing away. Will be not taken down, actually managed to survive through that QSS come through, and now Shiara trying to chase down the remaining Nami at the back of the fight. But it doesn't matter that Wibbs is still alive, because everyone on Minute is standing. The Navi will not be able to defend the base against the Baron buff 5 members of Minute. And the surrender comes through. That's going to be GG. And Minute, with a 2-0 victory, secure their spot in the Collegiate Championship Division 2 finals.
A lot of whimsies died for this.
Yes.
A lot of whimsies died from
I continue my trend of not winning collegiate playoff games, which is I never thought that would be something that would rear its head again, but it happened. So yeah,
that for whimsies. No, Trinity, fair play to them. They played an exceptionally good series. It was just game one. It was very, very good team fighting coming out from the Manus guys. They played it to near perfection every single time. In Grand Vault with Jarvan had such a big impact. And then Valkyrie in this game, absolutely amazing plays. Didn't die, 10-0-11 on the Jinx. Took over the game, done everything that was needed. And above all that, I still think Granvolt still deserves the MVP. I'm hurting myself because I'm not saying the Jinx. But Granvolt had such an amazing 2 games. He got everything he needed. He did get caught out every now and then, but he got everyone ahead. And he just played the game to perfection both times. He knew what he had to do, and I think the shot calling itself around the jungle was very, very well done. So I think Granvolt deserves the MVP from me. You can say Valkyrie if you want. I'm not going to say because I'm biased for the Jinx. So I'm not going to put myself in that boat.
I probably would give it to Valkyrie or the real Whimsy / Ask the Answer on that support position. Both members of the bot lane, I think, had very good series. So I'm not sure which one I would give it to. But I think
if you want, play them.
Yeah, I think Valkyrie. In fact,
Jinx. I like Jinx. Very good champion.
All right, we're gonna have Satyrs gonna have to he's gonna have to detox off the Jinx after this game. But once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, thank you to our sponsors Marvin.ie and Red Bull. And yeah, so we have our first team for the Division 2 finals confirmed. We also have UCD confirmed for our Division 1 finals. Make sure you guys keep an eye, as we'll be streaming more of the semi-finals for both League and CSGO across the next few days. But for this evening, thank you guys for tuning in, and have a good evening.